Identical chocolate pieces are sold in boxes of two sizes, small and large. The large box is sold for twice the price of the small box. If the selling price per gram of chocolate in the large box is 12% less than that in the small box, then the percentage by which the weight of chocolate in the large box exceeds that in the small box is nearest to. So we have two types of boxes. One is a small box and the another is a large box. Right? The large box is sold at twice the price. So if we talk about the price, if the small has a price of, let's say, P, the large is priced at 2P. If the selling price per gram of chocolate in the large box, so if we talk about selling price per gram, if the small box has a price per gram of 100, then the large box is going to be 12% less than it. So large box is going to be just 88. Then the percentage by which the weight of the chocolate in the large box exceeds that in the small box is nearest to. So we are talking about weight now. Suppose the weight is in grams. The small one has a weight of S and the large one has a weight of L. Now, if we look at this, we can say that the price for the small box is 100 into S, while this price of 2P is equal to 88 into L. Now we have to figure out the weight of the chocolate in the large box as compared to the small box. In other words, we have to figure out L upon S. L upon S can be solved. If we look L from here, it's going to be 2P upon 88, while the value of S is going to be P upon 100. This will take care of the P, and then we will have 2 into 100 upon 88, which is going to simplify as this is 44, and then this becomes 25 into 4, this becomes 11 into 4. So this is 25 upon 11, which can be interpreted as 14 upon 11 more. 14 upon 11 is nothing but 127.27% more. So the answer is the fourth option. We have f of x is equal to a quadratic upon another quadratic, and it is given that it is negative if and only if. Now, such type of questions in inequality can be solved in two different ways. We can use the options, or we can solve it properly. So let's use the options and see which option makes sense. So we will have to glance through the options and see if we can figure out a value of x, which will help us select or discard options. So if I take x is equal to 0, 0 is not an acceptable value in first, 0 is an acceptable value in second, 0 is not an acceptable value in third, it is an acceptable value in fourth. So if I put x is equal to 0, I get f of x is equal to 0 plus 0 minus 15 upon 0 minus 0 minus 18, which gives you a positive value, right? Minus and minus will give you positive. But the question is about negative, so 0 should not be allowed. 0 should not be allowed. That means second option and the fourth options are ruled out. Now, if I look at first and third, the remaining two options, x lies between 3 and 9, those are there. The one is x is less than minus 5. The other is x is between minus 5 and minus 2. That's the only difference. So if we take a value which is more than minus 5 for x, but less than minus 2, so let's take x is equal to minus 3. Then our f of x is going to be minus 3 square plus 2 into minus 3 minus 15 upon minus 3 square minus 7 into minus 3 minus 18, which is going to be 9 minus 6 minus 15 divided by 9 minus 21 minus 18. So this becomes, plus. So we will have 9 minus 6 minus 15, which is going to be a negative value, and this one is going to be definitely a positive value. So overall value is going to be negative. We do not have to necessarily solve for the exact value. So minus 3 is an acceptable value. Minus 3 is not acceptable in third, so you get first as the answer. The alternative way now, if we had to actually solve it. So what we can do is we can write f of x is equal to, let's factorize it. Sum is -2, product is -50. So this can be written as x plus 5 into x minus 3. And the denominator, sum is 7 and product is -18. So this can be written as x minus 9 into x plus 2. Now this should be negative, right? It's negative. Now a fraction is going to be negative when the product of numerator and denominator is also negative. So this will lead us to the product of numerator and denominator should also be negative. So let's draw the number line for this. So the values for which each factor is going to be 0 will be -5, -2, 3, and 9. And if you draw the graph for this particular polynomial, the graph is going to go like this. We have to figure out where it is negative. Negative lies between -5 and -2 and 3 and 9. The only option which says this is the first one. So first becomes your answer. If x naught is equal to 1, x1 is equal to 2, and x of n plus 2 is equal to 1 plus x of n plus 1 whole divided by x of n, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, then x of 2, 0, 2, 1 is equal to. So this is a question on series. It's going to be certain series. We have to figure out what series this is. So the first value x naught is 1. The second value x1 is 2. If I want to figure out this x2, then the value of n I will have to put is 0. So if I put n is equal to 0, I will have x2 is equal to 1 plus n is 0. So this becomes x1 whole divided by n is 0. So this becomes x naught. I do know the value of x1 and x naught. So this becomes 1 plus 2 upon 1, which gives us 3 as the answer. So this turns out to be 3. If I want x3, the value of x3, for x3, I need n is equal to 1. So I will have x3 is equal to 1 plus x2 upon x1. I know the value of x1 and x2, both of them. So I can rewrite this as 1 plus 3 divided by x1, which is 2. 4 by 2 will give us 2. Now, x4. For x4, I need n is equal to 2. So I will have x4 is equal to 1 plus x3 divided by x2. x3 is the previous one, which is 2, and x2 is the one before that, which will give us 1. So this turns out to be 1. So this series is not increasing. So it increased to 3, then it decreased. So there has to be some pattern. So let's try to figure out the next one. For x5, I need n is equal to 3. So I will have x5 is equal to 1 plus x4 whole divided by x3. x4, we just saw what x4 was. And x3 is known to us as this. So this gives us 2 by 2, which is 1. Kind of like a weird looking series, but we have to trust that there will be some pattern. And x6 is going to be 1 plus x5 upon x4. So 1 plus previous value is 1, and then whole divided by 1, which will give us 2. So this turns out to be 2. So it looks like it is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, then again 1, 2. If the next term turns out to be 3, then we are pretty sure that it's a pattern of these 5 values. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, again 1, 2, 3. You will again have 2, 1. So the sooner we confirm this series, the easier it's going to be. So if I put n is equal to 5, then I will get x7 is equal to 1 plus x6 upon x5. x6 we just saw is 2, and x5 was 1, and great, we got this as 3. So this series is more like 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So it's a series where you have 5 terms getting repeated. So if I have to figure out x2021, so the trick here is it starts with x naught. So when you're talking about x2021, we are actually talking about 2022nd term in the series, right? So if I make groups of 5 terms like this, then up to 2020th term, this series is going to be perfectly in group. So for 2022nd term, I need to go to the second term in the series, and the second term in the series is always 2, the pattern, right? So the answer should be 2, which is the fourth option. So how many 3-digit numbers are greater than 100 and increase by 198 when the 3 digits are arranged in the reverse order? So the standard way of writing a 3-digit number is 100A plus 10B plus C. And when we add 198 to it, the digits reverse. We will remember that A is our hundreds place digit. So if we rearrange this, we will have 100C minus C, which is 99C. 10B and 10B will cancel out. Sorry, this is A. A minus 100A will be 99A. So I will have minus 99A, right, is equal to 198. Or we will have C minus A is equal to 2. Now, C can take 3, A can take 1, C can take 4, A can take 2, right? The difference of the digits should be 2. This will continue until we can have a 9 here and 7 here. So the values of A can be 1 to 7. So it can take values from 1, 2, and up to 7. And accordingly, B will take those specific values, 3, 4, up to 9. While B can take, any 10 digits from 0 to 9 when A and C are fixed at 1 and 3. So we have 7 different values for A and C, and for each of the values of A and C, we have 10 different values for B. So there will be a total of 70 numbers. So this is a question on rate of interest. Okay, so Anil invests some money at a fixed rate of interest compounded annually. If the interest accrued during the second and third year are 806.25 and 866.72. So these are the interests in second year and third year. So these are 2 consecutive years. In INR, during the fourth year, the interest is nearest to. Well, if not just second year, if any given year, if the interest is given to us, which is compound interest, and the next year interest is given to us, then the percentage change in the interest is the one that you will see further. So in the fourth year, the percentage change in the interest from 806 to 866 will be the one which will give you a fourth. So the calculation that you have to do in order to figure it out is, suppose this value is X, then this X should be 866.72 into the percentage increase that we are going to have. And that percentage increase we will get from the first pair as 866.72 upon 806.25. So since we have the on-screen calculator, we can calculate this. And this gave us the answer 931.72. And there were more digits, but the closest option you can get is second. So this is a question on a regular hexagon. So we have a regular hexagon A, B, C, D, E, F. So let's draw the regular hexagon. A, B, C, D, E, and F. And its side is 2 centimeter. So let's say this is 2 centimeter. If T is the midpoint of CD, so this is the midpoint. That means we have 1 centimeter here, and we have another 1 centimeter here. Then the length of AT is going to be how much? Now, the longest diagonal which joins the opposite vertex of a regular hexagon is twice the side, and the angle at D is going to be 60 degrees. The angle over at A or at T will be difficult to figure out. So what we will do now is let's join AC, the shorter diagonal. Now the shorter diagonal, if we want to figure it out, this is given by the shorter diagonal is given as √3 times the side. So this is 2 √3 centimeter, which can be written as under root 12 centimeter. Now, the angle at C overall is 120 degrees, right? You have 120 degrees at every vertex in a regular hexagon. This is 120 degrees. These two are same. So this should be 30 and 30, so that the sum is 180 for this. Since this is 120, that means this is 90 degrees here. So triangle ACD is a right angle triangle. So, well, we can figure out the length of 80. So this 4 was actually not required. So this is a right angle triangle ATC, in which the two sides are 1 and root 12, and we need to figure out the hypotenuse. So hypotenuse will be given as under root 12 whole square plus 1 whole square. So under root 12 plus 1, so under root 13. So we have a strength of an indigo solution in percentage is equal to the amount of indigo in grams per 100 cc of water. So it means that if it's a P% indigo solution, then out of every 100 cc of water, you will have P grams of indigo over here. That's what the first statement is all about. Now we have two 800 cc bottles. Okay, so we have one 800 cc bottle and we have another 800 cc bottle. And they are filled with indigo solutions of strength 33% and 17%. So we have 13% indigo here, sorry, 33% indigo here and 17% indigo here. So that means there is 33 into 8 grams of indigo here, because out of every 100 cc, if you get, the same P number, then since it is 33 out of every 100, so out of 800, it should be 33 into 8. Similarly, the amount of indigo over here should be 17 into 8 grams. Okay. A part of the solution from the first bottle is thrown away. So let's say X liters was thrown away and it was replaced by an equal volume of the solution from the second bottle. So the same X was added over here so that the first bottle was back to 800 cc. If the strength of the indigo solution in the first bottle has now changed to 21%. Okay, so what we can do is we can use alligation. That's going to be faster. So out of 800, if X is removed, this is the volume of the 33% indigo solution. So these numbers were not relevant as of now, the method we are using. And the amount of solution that was brought in was X liters, that was 17%. They both add up, they both mix to give you a 21%. So using alligation, what we can find out is the difference between 17 and 21 is 4. Difference between 33 and 21 is 12. So the ratio is 1:3. So there is 1 part of 33% indigo, 3 parts of 17%. Total, we have 800 cc. So if I happen to multiply this by 200 cc, so this becomes 200 cc and this becomes 600 cc. So 33%, we actually got rid of 600 cc from here and we brought in 600 cc from the second bottle. The solution left in the second bottle would be then, so out of 800, if we take out 600, so we are left with 200 cc. So this question was a theta question. So you had to type in 200. So this is a question on PNC. The number of groups of 3 or more distinct numbers that can be chosen from these 8 digits, all 8 are here, 9 is missing and 0 is missing, so that the groups always include 3 and 5, while 7 and 8 are never included together. Okay, so there are going to be 3 cases where 7 is there, 8 is not there. Another when 7 is not there, 8 is there. And the third when 7 is also not there and 8 is also not there. Right? These are 3 possibilities because both cannot be there. And we have to figure out groups. Please understand, it's not number of numbers, it's groups. So it's about selection, 3 or more distinct numbers. Now, If we have three numbers in a group, so 3 and 5 are definitely present, right? So the third number may be 7, maybe 8, or maybe neither of them. If you're talking about a 4-digit number, again, 3 and 5 are definitely present. If you're talking about a 5-digit number, 3 and 5 are definitely present. If you're talking about a 6-digit number, again, 3 and 5 are definitely present. If you're talking about a 7-digit number, then also 3 and 5 are definitely present, and no problem so far. But the moment we have an 8-digit number, that means all the digits are brought in, then 7 and 8 are going to be definitely included. So we cannot have this case, right? Because you have to use distinct numbers. So we have to stop right here. Now, since 3 and 5 are definitely taken, they are not the ones that we are supposed to select. So we have two groups, one that consists of 7 and 8, and another that consists of 1, 2, 4, and 6. Okay, in the first case, when it's a 3 numbers group, so what we can do is we can bring in any one of these 6, right? So out of these 6, select anyone and place it over here. So there are 6 ways for this. Okay, when we have 3 and 5, so there are two possibilities. Either, two numbers are from this group, 1, 2, 4, 6. There is no 7 and 8. Or you can have one number from 1, 2, 4, 6 and one of the two numbers from 7 and 8. 4C2 is 6 and this is 8. So 6 plus 8, this will give you 14 ways. Third scenario, if we have 3 places, so one would be all the 3 are from 1, 2, 4, 6, or 2 are from 1, 2, 4, 6 and 1 is from 4, 7 and 8. You cannot have both from 7 and 8. So we cannot have that scenario where you will write 4C1 into 2C2, because 7 and 8, they both can never be together. So we need to stop right here. 4C3 is 4 and 4C2 is 6 and 2C1 is 2. So 12 plus 4, 16 ways is what we have here. Okay, when we have 4 cases, all 4 are from 1, 2, 4, 6, or 3 are from 1, 2, 4, 6 and only one of 7 or 8 may be included. So this is going to be 1, and 4C3 is 4 into 2, 8, 8 plus 1. So this is 9 ways. Next case, when it's a 7-digit number, all 4 are here, of course, and only one of 2 is going to be over here. So which is going to be 2C1 ways. So this is going to give us 1 into 2. So this is 2 ways. So total number of ways we will have is 14 and 16 is 30. 30 and 11 is 41. 41 plus 6 is 47 ways. Since this was a theta question, so you had to type in 47. So question on log. So we have 3 terms on the left-hand side, 1 term on the right-hand side, and the bases are same, thankfully. So what we can do is we can keep the number 5 here and bring all the logs to the other side. So I will have log base 10. The first one, which already exists over there, is under root 1 minus x square. When this minus goes to the other side, so I will have a plus log. When it comes together, it gets multiplied, right? And when this one goes to the other side, this plus becomes a minus, and this 4 will go to the power, right? So it means it will get divided. So it will be under root 1 minus x whole to the power 4. So the 4 becomes the power, and this becomes the denominator. Okay, so we can simplify this as, since we see under root 1 plus x, so let's do one thing. Let's write this as 1 minus x into 1 plus x. So it may be helpful to us. And then under root 1 plus x. And then into 1 by under root power 4. So it will become square, right? So this becomes square. So 1 plus x and 1 plus x will cancel out. So the right hand side changes to 1 upon 1 minus x to the power 1 by 2 and 1 minus x whole square. And the base is 10, right? So this changes to log 1 by 1 minus x to the power 2 plus 1 by 2, which is 5 by 2. Now we need to get rid of log since everything is simplified. So this 10 will move to the other side. It will push everything to the power and we will have this. Now, I want to get rid of this. So let's give a power of 2 by 5 throughout so that this power is eliminated. So this becomes 10 square, which is equal to 1 upon 1 minus x. Now 10 square is 100, right? So let's solve for x. So you will have 1 upon 100 is equal to 1 minus x, or you will have x is equal to 1 minus 1 by 100, which is 99 upon 100. Now the question asked is 100x is equal to what? So if we cross multiply, you will get 100x is equal to 99. Now, since this was also a data question, so we had to type in 99. So good question on log. Little time consuming. So we have two trains that cross each other in 14 seconds when running in opposite directions along parallel tracks. Okay, so we have this train and we have this train and they cross each other in 14 seconds. So that 14 will be length of the first train plus length of the second train divided by sum of the speeds. Okay, great. The faster train is 160 meters long. So let's say this is the faster train, so which is 160 meters long. And this is the slower one. So we know the length of one of the trains. And this train, this faster train of length 160, it can cross a lamppost in 12 seconds. So if you're talking about this lamppost to be covered in, to be crossed in 12 seconds, so time will be equal to the distance it is going to cover upon its own speed. So speed of the faster train. So from here, we will get speed of the faster train as 160 by 12. Let's get rid of 4. So I'll have 40 by 3 meters per second. Okay. So I know the speed of the faster train as well, 40 by 3. Okay. If the speed of the other train is 6 kilometers per hour less, so 6 kilometers per hour is how much in meter per second, because we are working with meters and meter per second and seconds, right? So we have to convert this into meter per second. For this, we'll have to multiply it by 5 by 18. So 6 and 3. So this is 5 by 3 meter per second less. So if the speed of the faster train is 40 by 3, then the speed of the slower train will become 35 by 3. So you will have plus 35 by 3 here. And this is the length of the slower train. Okay, so if we solve this, 40 plus 35, 75 by 3, 25. So we'll have 14 into 25 will go to the other side is equal to 160 plus length of the slower. And length of the slower will be 25 into 14, which is 350 minus 160, which will give us 190 as the length. So first option. Right. So direct formula based question. Nothing to ponder about. So Amal purchases some pens at rupees 8 each. To sell these, he hires an employee at a fixed wage. He sells 100 of these pens at rupees 12 each. If the remaining pens are sold at rupees 11 each, then he makes a net profit of rupees 300. While he makes a net loss of 300 if the remaining pens are sold at rupees 9 each. The wage of the employee in Indian rupees is, okay. So if we talk about the cost that Amal will have to bear is, suppose he purchases some pens, let's say the pens total are n, and he has to pay 8 rupees for each. plus the salary, right, of the employee, the wage. Now, he sells 100 of these. So there are two cases, right? So the first case, so he sells 100 of these. So out of n, if he sells 100 of these at 12, so if we talk about case one, this is the sales we are talking about. And the remaining pens, remaining will be n minus 100, and they are sold at 11 each. So which is larger, the cost or the sales here? He makes a net profit of 300. So that means it's about the sales being higher. So the difference between these two is 300. So we can write 100 into 12 plus n minus 100 into 11 will give us 8n plus salary. Okay, let's subtract so that it makes more sense. Sales minus cost is given as 300. Okay, while he makes a net loss of 300, so if you're talking about case 2 sales, he makes a loss of 300 if the remaining pens are sold at remaining pens. So we have to be careful. It's not all the pens, only n minus 100 pens are sold at 9 each. So 100 into 12, that much he was going to sell at. And remaining pens, that is n minus 100 at 9 each. So it's a loss for him. So that means cost is higher, which would mean 8n plus salary minus 100 into 12 plus n minus 100 into 9. This is equal to a loss of 300 as it states. So we have to figure out the value of salary. It means we have to get rid of n, which will be difficult. So what we can do is we can add both these equations. So these two will go away. We will have 1200. Oh, okay. This one will also go away. We will have n minus 100 into 11 minus 9, right, is equal to 600. So this is 2. So n will turn out to be 400. 300 into 2 is 600. So n is 400. Let's put n as 400 back. So let's put it in the first equation. So we will have 1200 plus 300 into 11 minus 8 into 400 minus salary is equal to 300. So this is 3300, 3200, 3300 and 3200 will give us 100. 1200 plus 100 is 1300. 1300 minus 300. So salary is going to be 1000. 1300 on one side, 300 on the other. So you will get 1000 as the salary. This was also a data question. So you had to type in the value 1000. And this was, this could be easier, but it's difficult to strike during the exam because a lot of things get canceled out. So it actually means the decrease of 2 rupees for those n minus 100, pence. This guy was getting a loss of 600 overall. So yeah, so we have the natural numbers are divided into groups as 1, 2, 3, 4 in another bracket, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in another bracket, and so on. Then the sum of the numbers in the 15th group is equal to, okay, let's look at the options. Options are huge and the last digits are different. Second and fourth, they are same, but the values are very far. So we will not be solving it, entirely. So let's look at the pattern here. So let's talk about the bracket. Okay, first bracket, second bracket. And let's concentrate on the last number in each bracket because there are some special numbers, right? 1, 4, 9, and so on. And how many numbers are there? Or what's the position of that number, right? Okay, so if we talk about the first bracket, last number in that bracket is 1. And its position at that place is going to be, okay, instead of position, which is going to be difficult, lengthy, let's count the number of numbers in that bracket. So how many numbers do we have in this bracket? 1. If we talk about second bracket, the second bracket, the last number is 4 and number of numbers over here is 3. If we talk about third bracket, in the third bracket, the last number is 9 and the number of numbers over here is 5. So there is a pattern in the first and second column, which is very easy to realize that if you're talking about nth bracket, then the last number is n square, right? 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. What about number of numbers in that bracket? So these are odd numbers, right? So first number is 1, second is 3, third is 5. So if you pay attention, twice of 1 is 2 minus 1. Twice of 2 is 4 minus 3. Twice of 3 is 6 minus 5. So the number of numbers we'll have is 2 and minus 1. So this is the pattern that is there. Now, if you have to figure out sum of all the numbers in 15th group, so we have to figure out what the 15th bracket or 15th group will be. So 15th bracket, the last number is going to be 15 square, which is 225. So we are talking about a number series or a bracket where the last number is 225. And how many numbers are we going to have here? So 15 into 2, 30, 30 minus 1, 29. So we're going to have 29 numbers. If we're going to have 29 numbers, which is going to be this number, right? So if we go back 25, we'll be at 200. If we go back 4 more, we'll be at 197. So that 197, 198, 199, 200, those are 4 values. And from 201 to 225, we have another 25. So total 29 numbers we are going to have. So what is the sum of this, all these consecutive numbers? So the sum is given as number of numbers into average of first and last, right? So this is going to be 29 into, not going to add entire thing. 97 plus 25 will end in something 22 divided by 2. So this is going to be 29 into a number that ends in 11, which means your final answer, as in sum of all the numbers, should end in 9. The only option that ends in 9 is the third one. Or if you do not feel confident about it, solve it, as in, properly figure out what this value is, solve it. So sooner you get the pattern, the easier it gets. So this is a question, looks like simple, because options are pretty simple. A basket of 2 apples, so 2 apples and 4 oranges and 6 mangoes cost the same as a basket of an apple, 4 oranges and 8 mangoes. Okay, great. One term is same, the other two terms are changing. 8 mangoes or a basket of 8 oranges and 7 mangoes. Then the number of mangoes in a basket of mangoes that has the same cost. So we need to figure out a basket which is made up of only mangoes, right? Which has the same cost as the other 3. So we have to solve these these 2 equations and figure out what is the value of A, R, M, relative value. Of course, we will not be able to figure out the exact ones. So either we solve those equations or there's going to be, there is a simple way to solve this. If you look from this expression to the other one, you will realize that if A decreases by 1, M increases by 2 when R remains same. So if I decrease again this one by A and M will increase by 2, so this will change to 4R plus 10M. So this is what we get. Now, if we look at these two now, we have to convert everything to M. So if we compare these two, what we see is if I decrease 4R, M increases by 3, right? 8R becomes 4R. So oranges were 4 less, while mangoes, it increased by 3. So if I do the same thing again, if I decrease R by, as in 4R, the first term, and 3M increase, so this 4R will change to nothing, and you will have 13M. So the price remains same. So the value of, or the coefficient of M over here will be 13, as in the values are equal to 13 mangoes. The price of each basket is same as the price of a basket, which will have 13 mangoes. So much easier to solve this way rather than to use equations, as in to solve the relation. So we have this question, the amount Nita and Geeta together earn in a day. So Nita and Geeta, they earn together in a day equals to what Sita alone does in 6 days. Next statement says the amount Sita and Nita together earn in a day equals what Geeta alone earns in 2 days. The ratio of the daily earnings of the one who earns the most, so we have to figure out who earns the most, to that of the one who earns the least. So we have to figure out the values of SG and N. We can't figure out the exact value, we can figure out only the ratio, since we have more variables and less equations. So let's do one thing, let's get rid of N, subtract. So we'll have G minus S is equal to 6S minus 2G, or we will have 3G is equal to 7S, or G is 7 and S is 3. So G is 7, S is 3. Let's figure out the value of N by putting it back. So let's put it over here. G is 7 and S is 3. So 14 minus 3, N becomes 11. So to figure out the ratio of the one who earns the most to the one who earns the least. So 11:3. If the area of a regular hexagon is equal to the area of an equilateral triangle of side 12 centimeter, then the length of each side of the hexagon is? Well, it's a very straightforward question, right? A regular hexagon area is given as √3/4 times side square, which is area of one equilateral triangle, into 6. And it is given that area of this regular hexagon is equal to area of an equilateral triangle. What is the area of an equilateral triangle? It's only given as √3/4 times of the side of that equilateral triangle, which is given as 12. So we have to figure out side of the hexagon. As you can see, √3/4 will cancel out, and side will become 12 upon √6, which can be written as 2√6, which is the side of the hexagon. Very, very straightforward question. This was one of the easiest questions in your first lot. A circle of diameter 8 inches inscribed in a triangle ABC, where ABC is 90 degrees. Okay, so we have a right angle triangle where this is 90 degrees and this is 10 inches. And there is a circle inside it. Okay, so the circle is inscribed. So it will touch all the 3 sides. And the diameter is 8, that means the radius is 4. So this is 4 and this is 4. That means this is 4, this is 4. If we join this, of course, this is 4. If this was total 10 inches, 4 inches is over here. So this is 6. That means this is 6. Why? Because it looks like a pair of tangents to the circle, right? That's what it is. And suppose this is X, this is X. So all we have to do is figure out the value of X, because we are asked to figure out the area. Area is given as half into base. Base is 10. And height is going to be X plus 4. So we need X. Now, since this was a theta question, so we have to solve it. Now, this can be solved in 2 different ways. One, properly using Pythagoras, as in we can say that altitude square plus base square will give us the hypotenuse square, or 100. Let's take it to the other side. It becomes a square minus b square. So this is what you will get. Now a square minus b square is a minus b, which will give you 2, into a plus b, which will give you 2x plus 10. So 50, 50 minus 10, 40, 40. So x will give you 20. So if you solve this, you will get x is equal to 20. If x is equal to 20, you can put it over here. You will get 24 as the height. So the answer is 120 inch square. So which was the value that you have to put. Another way would be to use triplets. So the moment you see a 10, so with a 10, what all triplets can we form? So one triplet is all about 3, 4, 5, as in 6, 8, 10. Now, if 6, 8, 10 is the triplet, then 10 should be the hypotenuse, not one of the two non-hypotenuse sides, right? So this doesn't make sense. Another 10 we can have is with 5, 12, and 13. If you have 5, 12, and 13, which can be also written as 10, 24, and 26. Now, if this is 10, the other side is 24, and the third side is 26. Then the in radius is given as the sum of the two perpendicular sides minus hypotenuse divided by 2. So this is 34 minus 26, that is 8 by 2, that is 4, which completely matches. So the triplet will straight away give you the three sides of this right angle triangle we are looking at. So area is of course going to be half into 10 into 24, same answer. So two different ways that it can strike you. So we have here Anu, Vinu, and Manu can complete a work in 15 days, 12 days, and 20 days respectively. Okay, so Anu can finish it in 15 days, Vinu can finish it in 12 days, and Manu can finish it in 20 days. So what is the total work? So let's take the total work as LCM of these three, right? 15, 12, and 20, which is going to be 300 units. So what will be their efficiency then? So A finishes 300 units 15 days, so its efficiency will be 20 units per day. V's will be 25 units per day, 300 units in 12 days. And M's 300 units in 20 days. So this is going to be 15 units per day. So these are their efficiency. Now, Vinu works every day. Anu works only on alternate days starting from the first day, while Manu works only on alternate days starting from the second day. Okay, so it's more like 300 units have to be finished. So Vinu will work and Anu will work on the first day. Second day, Vinu and Manu will work. Third day, Vinu and Anu will work. Fourth day, Vinu and Manu will work, and this will continue. So the question is the number of days needed to complete the work. Okay, so how much work will Vinu do? So this is 25, Anu's is 15. Second day, 25. Sorry, 25 plus 20, and then 25 plus 15. Again, 25 plus 20, and then 25 plus 15. So this is going to be 45, and then this is 40. So in 2 days, they are going to do 85 units. Now we have to go up to 300. So 85 into 4 will be more than 300, 85 into 3. So let's multiply everything by 3. So we get that in 6 days, a total of 85 into 3, which is going to be 255 units. In 6 days, 255 units. So 6 can't be your answer, 5 can't be your answer, and 8 is going to be a lot, right? If you multiply it by 4, you will get 8 days and 85 into 4, which is more than 300 units. So 8 also can't be your answer. So 7 makes sense. But let's see what will happen on the 7th day. On the 7th day, the odd number of days is the turn for Vinu and Anu, which is 45 units. So 255 plus 45, yes. So this is 300 units, perfect. So they took 7 days complete to finish the work. Suppose hospital A admitted 21 less COVID infected patients than hospital B, and all eventually recovered. Okay, so we're talking about hospital A and we're talking about hospital B. So how many patients do we have? So let's say B had a total of n number of patients. Then A had 21 less patients. Next is the sum of, so this is about number of patients. Next is sum of recovery days for patients in hospital A and B were 200 and 152 respectively, 200 and 152 respectively. Next is if the average recovery days for patients. So if you're talking about recovery days average, in hospital A was 3 more than. So if its average was A, the average recovery days was A plus 3. Then the number admitted in hospital A was. So we have to figure out what is n minus 21. So number of patients into average recovery is equal to total recovery for A hospital. And similarly for the B hospital, this is what we will have. So we have two equations in the product, two variables in the product, sorry, and two equations, and we do not have options to check. So of course we will have to solve this. Let's write, we have to get rid of A, right? N chahiye. So from here, I'm going to write A as 152 by N and place this over here. So I will have N minus 21, 152 by N plus 3 is equal to 200. So N minus 21, 152 plus 3N is equal to 200N. Let's open the brackets. N into 152 plus N into 3N, 3N square, minus 21 into 152 minus 21 into 3N is equal to 200N. So we will have 3N square. Let's bring all the N's together. So this is 63N. And we have 152 and another 200N. So 263 and we have 152. So that is going to be 63 plus 48. So 111. Really don't want to make any mistake. This is very, very risky. Okay, great. 3 will cancel out. So if 3 cancels out, we'll have N squared minus 37N minus 7 into 152. I'll simplify this. Now the sum is 37 and product is 7 into 152. Okay, let's look at 152. 152, let's prime factorize it. 76, 38, and 19. So instead of 152, let's write this as 2 into 2 into 2 into 19. Now I need to get 37 by making a combination from here. 37 ke liye 19 into 2, 38, and 7 into 4, 28. No, that will be a gap of 10. 8 into 7, 56. 56 and 19. Okay, great. So N square minus 56N plus 19N minus 56 into 19. So this is how I have clubbed it. And this is equal to 0. So if you take out N, you will have N minus 56 plus 19, and you will have N minus 56. So you will have N minus 56 into N plus 19 is equal to 0. So if you solve this, you will get n is equal to 56 or minus 19. Minus 19 you can't take because you can't have negative number of patients, right? 56. If n is 56, we have to figure out hospital A, right? If n is 56, 56 minus 21 will give you 35. Yeah, 35. It was a theta question. It was a lengthy question. But of course, you cannot expect each and every question to be very, very easy in CAT exam. There are going to be some questions which will pull you back time-wise. If R is a constant such that mod of x square minus 4x minus 13 is equal to R has exactly 3 distinct real roots, then the value of R is, okay. If I open the mod, then what will happen is this R will take plus minus R. So I will get 2 quadratic from here, and each quadratic will give me 2 roots. So I'm going to have 4 roots. Out of those 4, if 3 are real, then the 4th one is also going to be real. So there should be actually 4 real roots. But since they're talking about 3 distinct real roots, it means, of course, there is no imaginary root. It means that one root is alpha, another root is beta, third root is gamma, and the 4th root is, let's say, again gamma. So there is going to be a quadratic which will have 2 equal roots. And in what kind of quadratic do we get 2 equal roots? When it's a perfect square, right? Something like x minus 2 whole square, x minus 8 whole square, 2x minus 3 whole square is equal to 0. So all of them are equal to 0. So even though they are quadratic, you get only one. I mean, you'll get only one distinct root, right? There will be 2 roots, but they're not going to be distinct. So something like this is going to happen. That means, which means R should be, so right now, this is not a perfect square. So I need to put a value of R so that it becomes a perfect square. Now looking at x square minus 4x, it feels like if I'm going to have a 4 equal to 0, so this will become a perfect square, right? That's the only way. For a perfect square, x square minus 4x should completely get within the, within the bracket, and there should be nothing outside. Now for minus 13 to become plus 4, I need to have a minus 17 here. So if I have a minus 17, this will change to plus 4, and I'll get x is equal to 2, one root only from here. While in the case of plus 17, I'll get 2 roots from there because it won't be a perfect square then. So 17 makes sense. Okay, we have Amar, Akbar, and Anthony working on a project. Working together, Amar and Akbar can complete the project in 1 year. Akbar and Anthony can complete in 16 months. Anthony and Amar can complete in 2 years. If the person who is neither the fastest nor the slowest works alone, the time in months he will take to complete the project is. So we have to figure out who is kind of the medium, paced worker. So we have Amar and Akbar. We are going to convert everything to months because of the 16 months. They can complete some project in 12 months. Akbar and Anthony can finish the same in 16 months. And Anthony and Amar can finish the same work in 2 years, that is 24 months. So what is the work? So let's take the LCM of 12, 16, and 24. It should be 48. So let's say total units is 48. So from here, we will have Amar plus Akbar's efficiency is equal to 4. From here, we will have Akbar plus Anthony's efficiency is equal to 3. And from here, we will have Anthony plus Amar's efficiency is equal to 2. Okay, let's add all of them. So we'll have 2 times Amar plus Akbar plus Anthony's efficiency is equal to 9. Or Amar plus Akbar plus Anthony's efficiency is equal to 4.5. Now, Amar plus Akbar, they themselves are at 4. So Anthony should be at 0.5. right? If you compare these two. So Anthony is at 0.5. If Anthony is at 0.5, then Amar is at 1.5. If Anthony is at 0.5, Akbar should be at 2.5. Then only it will make sense, right? LHS is equal to RHS. Let's add 2.5 for Akbar and 1.5 for Amar. Will it become 4? Yes. So it makes complete sense. So the person who's neither the fastest nor the slowest, who is neither the fastest nor the slowest? It's Akbar with 2.5. No, it's Amar with 1.5 because Akbar is the largest. So 1.5 is the number between 0.5 and 2.5. So in how many months will it take to complete the project? So working at 1.5 in how many months will it finish a 48 units project? So what number into 1.5 is 48? A number plus half of it, 32. 32 plus half of 32, 16 is 48. So since this was a theta question, so I have to type in the value 32. Plain and simple question. Onion is sold for 5 consecutive months at the rate of 10, 20, 25, 25, and 50 per kg respectively. So rate is 10, 20, 25, 25, and 50. So this is the rate. Our family spends a fixed amount of money on onion for each of the first 3 months, same amount. So let's take the LCM of these three. So let's say they spent 100 rupees for each month on the onions, and then spends half that amount on onion for the next 2 months, for each of the next 2 months each. So half of that, so that is 50 over here and another 50 over here. So now the question is average expense for onion in rupees per kg. So we have to figure out average rupees per kg. So average rupees per kg will be total rupees divided by total kg, right? That's how you calculate average of such units. So total amount they spent was 400 rupees. And how many kgs did they buy? Okay, so 100 rupees spent 10, so 10 kg here. 100 rupees spent 20 ka rate, so that is 5 kg here. 100 rupees 25 ka rate, 4 kg here. 50 rupees spent 25 ka rate, 2 kg here. 50, 50, and 1 kg over here. So the total quantity that they bought, the amount of onion is 15 plus 5, 20, 22 kgs is what they bought. 400 by 22, we can get rid of 2 here. So we will have 200 upon 11. Now 200 upon 11 is 18.18. So we have to figure out over these closest two. So the closest value is 18, the first option. Again, not a very difficult one. You had to, the trick was here, if you can figure out what you had to do. That's how you figure out, that's how you calculate price, right? Average price, total amount spent divided by total quantity bought. Same thing. So the number of integers n that satisfy the inequalities. So we have a mod in variable, mod in variable, mod in variable, as well as inequality. So there are 2 different ways to solve this. Actually, how I solved in the exam was I put in random values. So I started with a value between 60 and 100. So I started with, let's say 70, 75, 80, hit and trial, and I got a value wherein it was possible. Then I searched for a value before and after. So which was like, more like an unconventional method. But the proper method would be, what do you mean by, difference of, absolute difference of 2 numbers? In other words, mod of difference of 2 numbers. It simply means that if there is a number 3 here and the other number is 7 here, then the gap between them is your result. So what is the gap between the numbers 3 and 7? That's why it doesn't really matter whether it is 7 minus 3 mod or mod of 3 minus 7. It's all about the gap. How far are they? Okay. So we're going to use this logic over here in order to solve this. So the points that we see right now are 20, 60, and 100. Let's plot it, 20, 60, and 100. And now let's look at the first pair of inequality. Only concentrate on these two pairs, okay? Let's not look anywhere else. So let's concentrate here. So n is one number, which is there in both, right? It's a value less than. So n and 60, the gap between n and 60 is less than the gap between n and 100. So n is a value somewhere so that n is closer to 60 than to 100. So if I ignore this number 20, where should n be so that n is closer to 60 but farther from 100? Let's see. Can n be over here? Yes, n is closer to 60 than to 100, very much. Can n be over here? No, n is closer to 100 than to 60. No, it won't make sense. Can n be somewhere between 60 and 100? So the value exactly between 60 and 100 is the value 80. If I put the value of n at 80, it is equidistant, but we need closer to 60, right? So this is what the range of n will be. So n is a value which is less than 80. Okay. Next, let's look at the other pair, 100 and 20. So we will have to plot 20 now. Let's ignore these two values, 60 and 80, in order to understand this. Now, n is closer to 100 than to 20. Let's see where n can be. Can n be over here? Yes, because it's closer to 100 than to 20. Can n be over here? No. Can n be somewhere in between? Yes, very much possible. So it is very much possible. So let's figure out a value between 20 and 100. Coincidentally, it's one of the values that is given here, which is 60. So if I want n to be closer to 100, a number which is closer to 100 than to 20, that value should be, between 60 and 100 or beyond 100, not below 60, not here, not below 20. So for the second inequality, we will have the values which are more than 60, not including 60, because 60 is a value which is equidistant from 120, right? Now, if we look at both of these, I need a region which is there between 16 and 80. 60 is not included and 80 is not included. That would mean 61 onwards, and that would mean up to 79 only. You can't include 60 and 80. There is no equality along with inequality here. So how many values can we have? 61 to 79, 79 minus 60. So you will have 19, integral values you can have. Let's put these values and try. 61 minus 60 is 1. 61 minus 100 is 39. There is a mod, so I'm ignoring the signs. And 61 minus 20 is 41. Great. If I put 62, this increases. If I put 62, this decreases, and this increases. What if I put 79? If I put 79, this is going to be 19. If I put 79 here, this is going to be 21. If I put 79 here, this is going to be 59. So all of these make sense, all these values. If I put 60, this is going to be 0. This is going to be 40. And this is also going to be 40, which will not make sense. So I can't have 60. So very conceptual question on modulus.